Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be doing a stock analysis on Protagonist Therapeutics. Now, if you didn't hear it yesterday, they just came out with positive news that they are going to be partnering with Johnson & Johnson on a medicine for a sort of IBS, which is quite bad, and there is no other medicine in the world, which is also why I'm going to highlight the stock today. Now, it is a medicine company which make medicine and peptides mainly for your digestive system, so of course, this focuses on the bowel and the larger intestines, but as it is the only company in the market with a drug that helps with the type of IBS which makes people bleed, which is very, very big in the Western world, it is quite amazing. And the reason it is quite good that it's large in the Western world is because who has the most money to buy medicine? That is the US and Europe. Now let's take a look at the graphs first. As you can see, in the past year, it has been performing quite well, up very much over the past year, slowly and steadily gaining, because as you can see here, their earnings, they are quite positive all the time. As you can see here, they're still losing money, and that is because they're a quite new company, so they don't make that much money all the time. So it's a bit up and down how much money they make. Now, they did have one poor earning, but it was actually quite interesting that they were still able to get a golden cross right after, so quite interesting. Now, if we take a look at the RSI also, as you can see here, it's a bit up and down. I'm not a huge fan of the RSI in this stock. As you can see, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. Now, as you can see today and yesterday, it was up at almost 100. I have actually never seen it. Wait, no mind. It was up at 92. Again, very, very, very high. But still, it is trading at extremely high RSI and still extremely high index. As you can see, it's even up 6.7% today. And yesterday, it was up 45%. So very interesting at the moment. Huge upwards potential. And as you can see, a golden cross also, of course, but the golden cross came when there is this huge gap in the graph, so I'd be a bit wary also just because of the way it's trading. Now, with that being said, given they're leading in their given field and they're using peptides, which is a great, great, great thing to be in medicine because they are quite versatile, so you can easily change them from one type of medication to the other. Now, for this stock, personally, I think it's going to go a bit higher. Maybe it's going to be like Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, which are leading in their brand of medicine, where there is going to be huge selling of one certain drug. I don't know, as I really don't know much about it yet because the data on this is quite difficult to come by. So in the next year, I think it's going to go up to maybe $70 this year. But yeah, I'd be a bit worried until this calms down a bit because we don't want to see a typical sell-off where you just do this and you buy it here and you take a 50% loss instantly. So just I'd wait a few days, see how the stock trades. Unless, of course, you like the risk, I'd get in now. Now, as you can see, the earnings, sometimes they make money here. They actually make quite a lot of money on each stock, still lower than expected. But usually, as you can see, it's minus. Sometimes they make, sometimes they lose money. So quite interesting. But as again, you can see down here, their earnings are quite unique. I rarely see anything like this where they make some money and they make a lot of money, then they barely make any money at all. Also annually, as you can see, this year is the first year in in actually ever, as far as I can see, where they're making money. So also, if we make this graph a bit bigger, you can also see that from 22, where it bottomed out, it has had quite a nice ride since. It was all the way up in 50 earlier. So yeah, it has been at this type of multiples before, so not that worrying. Actually, I did not know it had been up, all that up. I actually didn't see that. Yes, actually, no, that's 26. So yeah, it has been at 50. Okay, now that actually makes me alter my case a bit. Then I wouldn't mind getting in right now simply because we have this trading multiple where it has been before. That means it's quite more normal to stable out and increase. If it was the first time, I didn't go back there for that is of course my mistake, but that means it's quite more certain that it's gonna stay here. Now, if we take a look at the last time it hit this high trading, let's see, it pivoted. Okay, that took a huge fucking tumble. What on earth happened here? Look at the hole in the graph here. We are talking in one single day. That is crazy. Almost $30 in a day. That's actually quite unique, and it wasn't even split or anything. Again, it was down 7 in the RSI. That's unique. So as you can see, sometimes this stock does trade quite unusually. So be a bit wary with that. But of course, it is interesting at the moment. And the good thing about the Johnson & Johnson is they have a huge factory that is going to be available to them. Also, because chances are Johnson & Johnson is going to produce it and sell it, and Protagonist Therapeutics is simply going to take a cut of each dose sold. Now, if you take a look at 23 and 24, they were positive, but look at 25 already. We did have quite a slow start, minusing a bit, and then boom, already now we are up quite a bit. As you can see here for the 2025, we're already up 53%. Now, if we take a look at it from 2020, I actually do like this stock's performance quite a lot. We did have the 2022 where basically every single stock went down, but more often than not, actually, Protagonist Therapeutics is performing incredibly well. Take a look at, besides 1 year, it's above 50%. It's 64 at least in the past 4 years or 5 years. That is actually quite crazy. Very interesting. That means that probably behind this stock is some quite huge investors who really would like to see what they have in the pipeline. Now, look at the technicals for a bit. As you can see, it's a strong buy. We have 0 cells in the summary, 0 in the moving averages, and 0 in the oscillators. So the technical says get in while it's hot, which is probably smart. I would, but of course, if you've seen some of my other videos, you do know I don't like to purchase when they're up like this. I prefer to see a pattern that looks a bit more like this, where after it trades up, it trades a bit more equally, or it just trades a bit more flat. I don't like to see it spiking up like this and then falling down. I'll give you an example of this with Palantir, for example. I know it's a different branch of, but look at this. It traded extremely high in quite a short time, all the way up here, and then it has tanked ever since. And I own it. I have a loss on it now. I bought it right here. So yeah, where I did think it was flattening out a bit, as I could see, it was flattening out a bit. So I bought it right around $100, but now it's fallen down. So yeah, be a bit wary when you see it booming like this. Now the analyst ratings, of course, are quite nice on this. 10 strong buy and 1 hold, quite nice at the moment. And we have 11 analysts rating, and I bet the one that's holding is the one that says it's going to be minus 24%. But as you can see, it jumped a lot yesterday. So it jumped, what's that? In the last week, it has jumped $20. So of course, some analysts are gonna have to reiterate on their analyses. But a very interesting stock at the moment. And the interesting thing, as you're gonna see here, the volatility curve here, the last 37 days, it has barely went up from the bottom. So that is quite interesting. But an interesting stock to keep an eye on for the moment. I am gonna look at this for the next while, and maybe I'm gonna get in if it calms down a bit more. If you did like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe.